Hi, this is Steve Kircher, and welcome to the first lesson in Perform Music You Love video series. And there's also PDFs available on the website. So we're going to start this lesson looking at the keyboard. Our first lesson is really understanding the keyboard. And you can see that here I'm using a Casio key lighting system, which will allow you to see the notes that I'm actually playing. Excuse me. Here you can see how they light up very nicely. See the black keys here and the white keys. Now, the first thing that we want to consider is how the keyboard is set up. That's going to allow us to understand music much clearer and how songs are put together. The first note that we want to consider here is the middle C note. Now, the musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then it begins again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, up and down the keyboard. So if I was to play those notes, which happens to be an A minor scale, it would be this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A again, here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A again, up and down the keyboard. So that's how the musical alphabet is set up, and those are the notes we're using for creating music. Now the first note, as I mentioned, is middle C, which we want to take a look at. And also, with understanding the keyboard, we need to look at the black keys as well. So before we get to C, let's take a look at the series of black keys that are here on the keyboard. So you'll see the two black keys here, the two black keys here, the two black keys here. You'll see three black keys, and then three black keys up here that you can't see. But it's there. You heard it. You see it on your keyboard. So we want to see that series of two black keys, three black keys, two black keys, three black keys, all up and down the keyboard, and how they're related to the white keys, which we'll talk about. And the the two black keys and the three black keys here are within one octave, 8 notes, oct meaning 8. So I've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's my C scale. I went 8 notes up, and you can see how the black keys kind of sit within that, and we'll talk about how they relate to those notes to create other scales and chords. So let's take a look at C again. So C is here, and we're going to now go to D alphabetically, and then to the E here. Now notice I moved from C to D to E. Those are whole steps on the keyboard and in music in general. So when I moving from a white key to a white key here, I'm skipping the black key. Those are whole steps. If I go half steps from one key to the very next key, whether it's white key or black key, those are half steps. You see all those half steps that I'm doing? All half steps, all the way up. All right? So now let's go back to the middle C, and you'll see that middle C is connected to this note here. All right, so now the two black keys, again, are surrounded by C, D, and E. Now that happens all the way up and down your keyboard. So C, D, E here as well. So it's very important to see that, how C, D, and E are connected to the two black keys. Now, we'll be talking about, keys and numbers within the keys, but let's talk about the fingers, right? The finger numbers. So my thumbs are going to be 1. So I'm going to give the number 1 to my thumbs. The pointer fingers are 2. The middle fingers are 3. The ring fingers are 4. And the pinkies are 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll see that on the PDF as well. So let's go back to the C note here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a very simple C scale, not quite a C scale, it's a half of a C scale, almost half, or a little more than half. What I'm playing here is C, D, E, F, and G, okay? And I'm going to go back and forth from there. So I want to go up, and then right back down. I'm going to do that 3 times. And I want you to do everything 3 times. Everything that I give you, you should play it 3 times. And then I'm going to go to my left hand, starting with the pinky, 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back. And I'll do it 3 times. Take it slow, don't go at my pace right now. And you want to practice right hand and then left hand, and then eventually you'll get that together, both hands. Now, let's take. We'll do more on scales in the next lesson with the key of C. And a key, by the way, is just a group of notes that make up our song. All right. So if I have the key of C here, I'm going to use those notes to create my song. The melody and the chords, all of that will be used within that key to create my song. And that's a very simple definition. It's basically a key is a group of notes that we use to create a song. Let's just keep it at that. There's more complicated considerations later. Going back to my black keys now, we need to determine, okay, what are the black keys and how they function? So the 2 black keys are, again, surrounded by C, D, and E. So this first black key is going to be related to the C and the D because you can see how the C and the D are surrounding that. So if I play this note, it could be either a C sharp, because a sharp raises a note by a half step. So if I want to raise my C up a half step, I sharpened, if you will, the C. So that can become C sharp. If I want to lower a D note down to here, I would call it a D flat. A flat lowers a note by a half step. So here's D flat. Here's C sharp, right? So C sharp or D flat is that key right here, the first of the 2 black keys. The next one is surrounded by D and E. So I can call it either D sharp, or E flat. Let's go to the next series, the 3 black keys. They're surrounded by F, G, A, and B. All right, up and down the keyboard. So F, G, A, B. F, G, A, B. So the first of the 3 black keys are surrounded by the F and the G, or touching the F and the G. So it could be F sharp or G flat. The next is surrounded by the G and the A. So that could be a G sharp or an A flat. The next black key, the 3rd of the 3, the last of the 3, is surrounded by the A and the B. So it could be either A sharp, or B flat, B flat. A sharp, B flat. So let me go over that real quickly again. C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, F sharp or G flat, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat. Okay? And that's how that works. And that happens, it works all the way up and down the keyboard. So here's a C sharp, here's a C sharp, here's a C sharp, and so on. And again, going back to the white keys, again, it just repeats itself up and down the keyboard. So once you know these notes here, right? So that little scale there, you know them up and down the keyboard. And that's really important to see that, okay? One thing about my fingers, getting back to my thumbs, I play guitar as well, so you'll see my fingernails on this hand are a little longer than this one. Don't get freaked out by that. Sorry about that. You may hear me click a little bit, and I apologize, when I play with my right hand. But I'm a classical guitar player as well, and so my fingernails are a little longer on the right hand, obviously, than on my left hand. So there you go. So that's the beginning of understanding the keyboard, how the white keys are related to the black keys. Okay, and in the next lesson we'll jump into a C scale. Okay, and how to play that, and you saw how I used all of my fingers, obviously my 5 fingers, but I have 8 notes, and I divided them up in a certain way, and I'll show you how to do that in the next lesson. Okay, and then we'll have chords as well. We'll be going up to the chords and understanding the chords within a key, how they relate to each other, and how you can begin to play and perform music that you love. And we'll go from there. see you at the next lesson.